clicked it and it came on immediately. It's what, like the second time it's done that this week. Alright, let's see if we can get the same thing that happened with the game. Yeah. After I ended the last video, I just went to bed. I fell asleep immediately because I was very tired. And I woke up about 20 minutes before it was time to leave. So, I woke up kind of much later than I should have because I needed to get ready earlier. We ended up getting there in time anyways. Vet. Marcy had a vet appointment. Marcy's the little 19-year-old chihuahua you see every once in a while. The appointment was at 3:30. We got there at 2:30 because Ben wrote the time down wrong and he thought it was 2:30. So we got there plenty of time. So we got there an hour early, even though we thought we were late. Did you say update? I saw a message that said update. Yeah, I know you have a bug. That was reshade. I clicked it too fast and I didn't see what the update message was, but yeah, Reshade, the latest version of Reshade, does have a bug, and it just announced that they'd released an update, so I will wait a few days before I update it, though. Reshade is... they're known for releasing bug fixes for one thing that ends up causing worse bugs for other things. This game's buggy enough as it is without help. Oh yeah, I forgot. We are at Lara Dorren's tomb. Anyways, Ben had written down the appointment wrong, so we got there an hour early because we thought the appointment was 2:30 and it was actually 3:30. He swears the girl told him 2:30, and it's possible she said 2:30 and gave him. He rarely gets things like that wrong, so he was quite upset that he got it wrong because he rarely gets things like that wrong. Yep, Lara Dorren's tomb. And Avallac'h without his head, as expected.
You get the jitters?
Give him his head back. There you go. Since the game loaded right up, we can... no, click in the game. We can open this back up. No, click in the game. No. There you go. I was trying to click my desktop instead. Okay. There we go. Much better. Anyways, we're there waiting. And our appointment's at 3:30. Well, this other woman comes in
Nearby. Listen.
who also has an appointment for 3:30. And there's multiple vets here. There's 3 vets there today. So, they can have 3 appointments at the same time. The receptionist is talking to me and Ben. She's asking, the general questions, how's she been doing? Has anything changed? All that stuff that they ask you every time you walk in. She's doing this. This other woman comes over and she's got like a papoose pouch with 2 little Yorkshire Terriers in it. Like a backpack hanging on her chest with 2 dogs hanging in it. And she comes over She grabs Ben by his shoulder and shoves him out of the way. And then she goes to the receptionist and she says, "Excuse me, it's my turn. My appointment is at 3:30. And the receptionist, they were here first. Their appointment's at 3:30 as well. And she said, "Well, my dog's a pedigree. I've got pedigrees." And she goes like, "You're in Biddeford, Maine, the scum dive of America. So, yeah. Who the hell cares about your pedigree? You ain't taking your dog to a vet in Biddeford, Maine if you have any sort of pedigree. Guarantee it." Rudeness of people sometimes, isn't it? The receptionist went over and got... She acted almost like she was scared. She went over and got another receptionist and said, can you go help this woman?" I've never had anything like that happen before at a vet. That's weird. If we was gonna just play Avallac'h lore friendly, we just leave him here and let him obsess, and because that's what he does. This is Lara Dorren's tomb. This is the tomb of his dead wife. In the novels, it was in Skellige, not Velen. Also, why'd they put in Velen in the game?
Obligations.
It's in Skellige in the novels. It's in the cave at the Druid Grove. And they put the cave at the Druid Grove in the game. So why didn't they put Lara Dorren's tomb in the cave at the Druid Grove in Skellige, where it was in the novels? Why is it here in Velen? We do know he moved her tomb several times, so we could assume that that was the case, but the game doesn't tell us that. He initially buried her in his own family tomb. She left him and married somebody else. It doesn't say she divorced him. It just says she left. She appeared to still be married to Avallac'h when she married Cregannon. But she left Avallac'h to marry... And Avallac'h was still Crevan back then. He had not yet changed his name to Avallac'h. People did not yet start calling him Avallac'h at that time. He was still Crevan back then. And it was because of this incident that they started calling him Avallac'h. She left him, married Cregannon, got pregnant by Cregannon, and then Cregannon's people and King Oberon and the elves, with the exception of Avallac'h, both hunted him down. King Oberon ordered her murder, and King Oberon is her biological father, technically. Avallac'h kind of is too. King Oberon's wife, Chandel, was pregnant. Avallac'h took the fetus. Chandel died from that, which is why King Oberon hates Avallac'h. Avallac'h took the fetus and put his own DNA in it because Avallac'h was an Elder Blood. He's the last Elder Blood. He was trying to make a female Elder Blood, which he did with Lara. And because of that, she's a clone of Avallac'h. And Avallac'h is also her father. It's weird. But then he married her. But she thought of him as her father because he also raised her. Which is why she left him for Cregannon, because she did not see him as her husband. The whole situation was extremely messed up.
He's in trouble. going to help him.
Where are you? You're back there. Okay. But King Oberon had this whole thing because there was a prophecy that 2 elder bloods were going to have a child. And King Oberon was convinced. Avallac'h is a male elder blood. Lara Dorren is a female elder blood. They're going to have a baby. It's going to be the child of the elder blood. Female elves can only get pregnant once in their lifetime. So when she got pregnant by a human, and not Avallac'h, who's another elder blood, King Oberon ordered her executed for treason and mutiny. Avallac'h protected Lara and helped her and Cregannon escape.
I'd rather not loiter in the street.
Avallac'h wasn't that upset about Lara with Cregannon, and it indicates the 3 of them actually lived together. It doesn't outright say that, but some of the stuff that it says indicates that Lara and Cregannon were living with Avallac'h. Avallac'h protected them, helped them escape. They ended up getting captured by humans who were killing both of them. They both got tortured to death. She got her hands cut off so that she couldn't cast spells. She was considered the most powerful sorceress of all time, largely because she had elder blood, had Avallac'h's DNA, which made her really powerful, and had been trained by Avallac'h. Avallac'h being the most powerful mage, she was the most powerful sorceress. He was the most powerful of all mages. She was the most powerful female mage. Cregannon got killed trying to protect her. She ended up with her hands cut off, and then she got tortured. Somehow Avallac'h ended up showing up, and he tried to save her, but she ended up still dying because she'd been tortured too bad. She made Avallac'h promise to raise the baby. He cut the baby out, ran off because the mob was trying to kill the baby. He found a castle that was nearby. He went in there to hide. He found in there the humans had a newborn baby. He switched the babies, took the human baby, gave it to the mob, assumed that Lara's baby was going to be treated well. It wasn't. Went back, got Lara's body and Cregannon's body, which at that point their bodies had been chopped up and taken all over the place. So he had to go, Avallac'h had to go, still Trevan at that point, had to go and find the pieces of their bodies because they'd been drawn and quartered and their bodies scattered all over the place, all over the country. He had to find all of the parts of Lara and Cregannon's bodies, put them back together, took him back to where he lived, which was at the palace. At that time, he was King Oberon's court mage and primary chief advisor. He had a family crypt at the palace at Tir-Neliar, and he buried Lara and Cregannon there. King Oberon wanted nothing to do with that. He then declared Avallac'h a traitor, Avallac'h also mutinous. That's when they started calling him Avallac'h. Avallac'h means the fox, and it's a hate slur in Elven language. They started calling him that because he was seen as a traitor. They tried to destroy Lara's grave, so Avallac'h dug them back up. He buried Lara and Cregannon both together in a single tomb. He dug them back up, and he went and he found where Cregannon's family lived. And he buried Lara and Cregannon a second time. This time, he buried them where Cregannon's family tomb was. Cregannon's family found out. They were in a rage. They hated Lara. So they tried to destroy the tomb. So he dug them up a third time. He dug them up again. This is now a third time because the first time they were scattered around by the people, the mob that had killed them. Then they were buried in Avallac'h's tomb, which was where King Oberon's tomb was. Then they were dug up and buried again in Creganon's tomb, his family tomb. This time,
Treat me like a child.
Avallac'h fled the planet completely. He ended up on Geralt's planet where Ciri and Geralt live, which is where he took the baby. This is in Skellige. He found a cave, he went and hid there, and he buried him there. And then he never left. He stayed there. He didn't dare to go back. He was scared to go back because he had been ordered to be executed as well, because he was a traitor for helping Lara. So,
Geralt's worried.
by game logic, at some point after that, he dug them up again and moved them here. Also, that skull is facing this way and this way, but not that way. Interesting. Is it? Wait, is it facing the way we go over fair enough? No.
At times, one must use reason rather than blades.
Avallac'h not down for using reason. Avallac'h runs with his heart, which chases after Lara Dorren. Lara's baby grew up and had twins, and then she adopted a third baby. She had 3 kids. She had twin daughters and a boy that she adopted as well. And I don't think I knew we could get behind this before. Well, now we're behind Lara's grave. Earlier in the quest, the bones are here. Early in the quest, there's bones laying there. There's a letter that you can pick up, and this is also where you get this lamp. This lamp. This lamp. When you come in here during the quest, that lamp is sitting there. There's some bones sitting there, and there's a letter sitting there. You can pick up all 3 things. That's when you get this lamp. You would have gotten this lamp here.
I tried to protect her, but the curse.
Avallac'h guards and protects elder descendants of Lara Dorren, but he stayed out of their lives. One by one, they all got killed off, with Ciri being the last one. And when Ciri became the last one, that's when he steps into Ciri's life and tries to protect her. For some reason, he didn't know what Ciri looked like until he met her. There's some confusion in that. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the Witcher novels with all the characters. Avallac'h has a lot of them. But when he gets Ciri, he hadn't seen her before. And he finds out she looks just like Lara Dorren, to the point you can't tell her from Lara Dorren. Her and Lara Dorren could have been twins. So he becomes obsessed with Ciri and turning her into Lara. That's when you start seeing him make Ciri wear Lara's clothes and telling her to act like Lara. And King Oberon has this whole plan of, well, now we've got a female elder blood again, and we've got Avallac'h still a male elder blood. Now they're going to have a baby, but Ciri is human. So Oberon is going to have a baby with Ciri to have a half-elf baby. That baby is then going to be an elder blood, also female. She's going to have a baby with Avallac'h, and that is going to be the child of the elder blood, the child of prophecy, the child with 2 elder blood parents. Which Avallac'h is initially going along with, and why you see Avallac'h sending Ciri off to King Oberon, but then you also see Avallac'h is kind of insane, and he's making poisoned fistek to kill King Oberon because he's lost touch with reality, and can't tell that Ciri is not Lara anymore. There we go. He can't tell that Ciri is not Lara. He starts calling Ciri Lara. She keeps saying, "No, I'm not your Lara, I'm Ciri." And then he's calling her daughter of Lara, and she's like, "No, I'm not Lara's daughter either. Pavada's my mother." And then Ciri starts listing off all the people she's related to all the way down the line, and eventually gets to Lara Dorren. Avallac'h's generations don't matter, you're still Lara's daughter. You see Avallac'h going slowly, very much out of his mind. He was the one plotting to kill King Oberon, not Aradin. Which, when you get to the game and you see the game, Avallac'h's telling you Aradin killed King Oberon. The novels never tells you who killed King Oberon. There's no definite answer. You're not told. You don't know. You know that Avallac'h was planning to kill King Oberon. Oberon was a Fistek addict, really bad, and Avallac'h was making poisoned Fistek, planning to give it to the gang. And then you see Aradin with the poisoned Fistek and telling Ciri, Avallac'h and Oberon are both using you here. Kill the king. Avallac'h made this. He's planning to kill the king. You kill the king first, and I'll help you get out of here. Aradin was trying to help Ciri. He was telling her... Avallac'h had convinced Ciri that, give me a baby and you leave. I'll just send you back. And Aradin was trying to tell Ciri, he's insane. He doesn't know what he's even talking about anymore. Nobody trusts him because he's absolutely lost his mind. He just went nuts when Lara died. He's getting worse, and he's not gonna let you leave. You are completely deceived by what's going on. He is not gonna let you leave, even if you give him a baby. He is not gonna let you leave. And Ciri won't believe it at all. She absolutely refuses to believe anything against Avallac'h. And she hates Aradin, so she convinces herself that Aradin is plotting against her. And then Starry Eyes comes in. Ciri and Avallac'h have a really big fight, which they both end up almost killing each other. They are both brutally violent, and they both turn on each other at the same time and practically rip each other apart. And then Ciri runs off and ends up with Starry Eyes, who's somebody she hasn't seen in years. And he's just all of a sudden there for no reason. And he's telling her the same thing Aradin just got done telling her. He's pointing out Avallac'h's lost his mind. He can't tell that you're not Lara anymore. He absolutely, you're Lara to him, and he's not going to see anything else. He refuses to believe that you are anything but, and he's never going to let you out of here. You need to try to see what is actually happening, and this is somebody Ciri has known for years. She's not known Avallac'h very long, but she's known Starry Eyes most of her life, and she's not believing him either. She's just, no, Avallac'h's my best friend. I'm not gonna turn on him.
I shall activate the sunstone.
Well, then Starry Eyes takes her to the lab and says, well, you gotta go see what's going on. Oberon had previously told Ciri you're not the first girl Avallac'h has brought here. You're not the first one he's tried to get a baby out of. You're not the first one he's been going around saying looked like Lara. You don't look as much like Lara as he thinks you do. She doesn't believe that. She is completely believing everything Avallac'h says, and she's not believing anything anyone around her says otherwise. Anybody says anything against Avallac'h, she just completely shuts down anything they're saying. She's not listening to them at all. There's a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that, yeah, he's insane, he's about to kill the king, and you're going to be his prisoner forever. That is where it's going. All the evidence is pointing to that. Just the stuff you see Avallac'h doing while everything else is going on. You can see that that is what's happening. Why can't we like this? So finally, Starry Eyes takes Ciri to Avallac'h's lab.
Cyril will wait at a safe distance.
Behind the lab is a huge ravine. And when you look down into the ravine, there are what Ciri describes as a sea of bodies. Tens of thousands of dead women. Pregnant women with their babies cut out. It's one of the more gory, grisly scenes in the franchise. Ciri's in absolute total disbelief of what she is seeing. She sees this and she's acknowledging, yeah, this is here. And Starry Eyes outright tells her, he did this. Avallac'h did this to Fox. He did this. This is what he's doing. You're next. You're gonna be another one of these. You're gonna be one of these bodies in this ravine if you don't get out of here right now. This guy's insane. He went nuts after this woman died. He promised to raise her baby and he didn't. And then that baby didn't live very long. And he's got that stuck in his head, and all he will do now is kidnap women, get them pregnant, and then cut out their babies and kill them. That's what Avallac'h is in the novels. And Ciri's like, she's standing here looking at these bodies, and she's talking about how horrified she is. This massive sea of bodies, all these dead women. And then Starry Eyes is telling her, yeah, Avallac'h did this. And she, no, Avallac'h couldn't do this. He wouldn't do this. She's now got evidence that everything Aridin and Oberon told her is true. She's now got somebody else telling her that this is going on. And she's still, nope, Avallac'h wouldn't do this. She's standing here looking at tens of thousands of dead women. And nope, he wouldn't do this. Aridin must have done it. Aridin did it. Aridin did it to try to set Avallac'h up. Avallac'h didn't do this. Ciri is in total full denial over what is going on. So she runs back to Avallac'h, but this time Avallac'h is so scared out of his mind of Ciri now, because she did almost kill him. He's locked himself in a room, put all kinds of barrier spells around him, and Ciri's like, well, I only castrated you and almost cut your head off and left you crippled for the rest of your life. Why are you scared of me? Why do you think he's scared of you? She's like, well, Avallac'h won't talk to me. He's locked himself in this room. I'll go talk to King Oberon. See what he says. I'm going to tell him about the ravine and the body. Even though King Oberon already told Ciri about the bodies. She's like, I'm going to go tell Oberon about this. Well, she gets there and Oberon's dead. And she doesn't know how. She knows he's clearly died of an overdose. He has the poisoned fist tech that we know Avallac'h made. He has that in his hand.
It's not.
She recognizes this bottle is different from the other bottles of Vistec, and she's seen it before. She knows this is something Avallac'h made, and she knows he intended to use it to kill the king. And she runs out of the room because King Oberon's dead. Did we not do that in this playthrough? Wow. Yeah, I know this save file was not a completionist run. So we didn't do a lot of stuff in it, but I'm surprised we didn't do that. Anyways, as she's running out of King Oberon's room, Eridan's there. Eridan starts talking to her. And he starts talking about the king. And he's talking about, yeah, this and that, and like nothing's going on. And Ciri just blurts out, the king's dead. You murdered him. And Eridan's like, what are you talking about? He's not dead. I was just talking to him. He's not dead. And Ciri, no, he's dead. Go look. He's dead. And Eridan goes in the room, and oh my god, the king is dead. Well, you just came out of the room. You must have killed him. So you see Ciri and Eridan are now fighting because they're both accusing each other of having killed the king.
With pleasure.
Eridan is accusing Ciri of killing the king, and Ciri is accusing Eridan of killing the king. They're both pointing out the fact that the king died from something that Avallac'h made because Avallac'h was planning to kill the king, and Avallac'h's kind of not here anymore. He, disappeared. He ran off. He's gone. Most of the evidence in the novels points to the fact that Avallac'h killed the king. And then you see the game. The game contradicts the novels so bad. Not sure how far we can get.
Fine, but don't dawdle excessively.
Because I know there's a point where there's a barrier that you had to use, a portal that you had to use to get through. So sooner or later we're going to reach a point where we can't go any further. But since the first Avallac'h playthrough, this is the first time you've seen the full inside of Avallac'h's house, because we don't have it unlocked yet in the second Avallac'h playthrough. We just didn't do any of the quest stuff.
So we must go east.
We do know Avallac'h was getting to Lara's tomb via a mirror portal. Ow. I forgot we needed to step back a little bit. At least we didn't die. No. Wrong button. That's better. There you go. Anyways, Avallac'h was getting to Lara's tomb via a mirror portal. And Ciri is a jealous psycho bitch. She didn't like that Avallac'h was going off to cheat on her with Lara. And that is exactly what it sounded like, too. Avallac'h has a necrophiliac problem, also. The novels does tell us that. Geralt asks him about it, and, that's Lara's body in your bed? Why? And then Avallac'h, oh, here's why! In lots of detail that you didn't want to know. But Avallac'h has sex with Lara after she died. Guilty because he never had sex with her while she was alive, is what it boils down to. Again, Avallac'h's insane, extremely. There is no way to find any level of sanity in him at all. He is just absolutely out of his head. Can we jump down in there? Is that possible to do? No? Anyway, Ciri got upset because he was spending more time with Lara than he was with her, and Lara is dead, and Lara's been dead for 200 years. So Ciri destroyed the mirror that was the portal to Lara's tomb, and Avallac'h couldn't get back to Lara's tomb, and instead of spending more time with Ciri, he went out on his boat and sat there and fished for days on end. It's when we first start seeing him becoming the Fisher King. He eventually becomes the Fisher King. But that's when you see that first start, is when Ciri breaks the mirror and he can't get to Lara's tomb anymore, because that mirror was the portal to Lara's tomb. So he starts fishing and won't do anything else. I can't remember if we can get all the way through to the other side. We'll find out, though, because that's what we're doing right now. I know there's a point where there's a portal. Okay, why? Oh, there it goes. I saw it. There's a point where there's a portal between a gulf. And I can't get to come up again.
Serious? Not just about something like that. A nice thing to wake up to.
Yeah. Only time Ciri is happy in the game. Finding out Avallac'h didn't die when she thought he did. Ciri is probably the only person more obsessed with Avallac'h than I am. Which annoys Ciri fans, because most Ciri fans like Ciri with Missile. Ciri was with Missile before she was with Avallac'h. And she met Avallac'h 2 days after Missile died, so she clung to Avallac'h really bad, mostly because Missile had just died. And we are told that he's the knowing one, he's a scion, he can see the past, the present, the future, he knows all your thoughts in your head, he's like Santa Claus. We were told that he specifically planned waiting to meet Ciri until that specific day, that exact time, because he knew she was going to be extremely vulnerable right then, right after Missile died. Missile had been murdered. Ciri had a big... Avallac'h thinks that's great. Missile had been murdered. Ciri had a big fight with all these soldiers and guards and stuff and killed everybody. She got hurt really bad. She was stressed out of her mind. She probably would not have lived if Avallac'h hadn't just been there. These things are annoying me. I'm trying to click on this. And yes, I know it annoys people when they watch me do these things. But it annoys me when I can't do this. I like changing the lights. And it won't let me change the lights.
Siri.
Not serious.
Siri. Can you hear me?
Where are my clothes?
You surprisingly have them on today.
Just
Alright. We're gonna hug Siri instead of turning the lights on and off. This cave should have been in Skellige, though. His hideout was in Skellige, not Velen.
Of course, if you know
Why are we over here?
things, even fewer can
Go back over there. Alright. We can't get that one to work. Also, let's put the... Okay, we do have it there. We just need to activate it. Let's put the other one on. This one's brighter. We can see better with this one. Yeah, we can see better with this one. The game could be going on to logic. They don't tell us that. But they could be going on to logic that since Siri destroyed the mirror... No,
Siri.
not Siri.
Can you hear me?
Since Siri destroyed the mirror that was a portal... What is it? That behind Siri. The game could be going on to logic that since Siri destroyed the portal, she smashed the mirror and destroyed the portal to Lara's tomb. That could have inspired Avallac'h to then move the tomb yet again, because he had already moved it multiple times.
Come, let's go.
all right. We'll talk later.
You have
Gillian's heart will suffer.
the initial getting the bodies after they'd been chopped up and scattered all over the place, moving them from where the mob had buried them, then them being buried in his tomb and moved from there after another mob attacked, and then in Creganon's tomb and moving them again now to Skellige. So that was the fourth location. They'd been moved 3 times. He dug them up and moved them 3 times at that point.
If Caranthea answers the call, and not
So the game seems to be running with the assumption that after Siri broke the mirror, that was the portal to the tomb in Skellige, he dug them up and moved them again, this time to Velen. That's the only logical reason we can come up with for why is Lara in a cave in Velen when she was in Skellige in the novels. Finally. Both the last 2 we couldn't change.
Siri, do you swear to stay on shore?
We should be getting close to the point where the portal is, right? Is this the portal here, or is there another section before here?
Calm down.
There's the destroyed
Avallac'h knows him
golems.
better. We'll hear him out when he returns.
all the green golems are made by Avallac'h. The quest where you encounter these tells you that. Every green golem you encounter in the game was made by Avallac'h. There are also orange, yellow, and red golems. Those are not made by Avallac'h. It's also illogical that Corinthia would have been able to destroy these. Which is what we are told. We're told Corinthia did this. It's also illogical that Corinthia exists when you find out how and why he exists, if you ever find out. You're telling me I can loot that, but you're not letting me loot it. We can't jump on that? Why can't we jump on that? Nope. Yeah, it will not let me loot that. Can't remember, what does it give you? I know it gives you something. It gives you something during the quest. Wait, no, we can loot it if we step back far enough from it. Okay. Gives you a sword. Wonder if I can use radish. You guys all stuck back there? Okay. I wonder if I can use radish to change the placement I can't I?
You? No. Me?
On these, where that comes up. Those two back there that we couldn't just turn on and off because it wouldn't trigger the little extinguish and ignite button. I think it's because of where the actual pin is in the game. So if we move the pin's location over a little bit, because it's near a wall, and I think the pin is like too close into the wall. That's why it's not coming up. If we move the pin over, it should let us do it normally, right? Does it want to let us through here? Nope. This is the point where you can't go any further. Alright. So I was right. There was a point you can't get any further. Yeah, because there's a portal that you have to open up, and we're on the other side of it. If we open the map, does the map show us where we are? So we're in here. It's the halfway point. Yeah, when the quest is active, there'll be like a purple swirl there, which tells you there's a portal there. So we need to go all the way back where we just came, get our horse, come outside, ride across to go to the other cave to get into the rest of the house. And if you didn't know, we're in Avallac'h's house. This is the villain hideout, which is called Darren. And we have two lights back there that we weren't able to change. We can try to change them again. For no reason at all, because we don't have a reason why we do it. There's a mod that lets you change lights. I like using that mod ever since I started using it. You can change all kinds of stuff too, like if you wanted to change all the lights to be green or blue or red or pink, it lets you do that as well. That's probably instant death if we try to go down there. Which is how we turn candles purple. See, we can turn candles purple. You go into the settings of it and you can adjust it by whatever colors you want to change things. What is that portal? I can't remember. I remember the one, the Sunstone Cave. Also, why are you not burning up? It's not acknowledging this is fire. I feel like he usually burns really fast. He accidentally steps on fire. Fire's not good for him. I saw it come up when we stepped on it. Wait a minute. Can I get it to do that again?
Siri.
Not Siri.
Siri. Can you hear me?
Where are my clothes?
Uh,
Come. Just stand there. I want a hug.
I hear a car.
Come, let's go.
The music stopped there for a second. That was odd. Okay. Get Siri away from that. So we finally did it with that one. And I think this one came up when we were on the back side of it, right?
Look at those clouds. Remind you of it?
Ah. Wrong button. That's not what I was trying to do. Hey, now it lights. Almost. I saw it come up.
A very old world, thoroughly raped and destroyed.
That is so very difficult. And completely unnecessary also. But we're doing it anyways. And if I try to click on it where Siri is right now, it's going to click on Siri.
Avallac'h's a good tutor.
That's so hysterical. If you know the novels and what he's a tutor of. Now it won't show up. It shows up and disappears before I have a chance to click on it. Got it. Finally. Okay. Now we can continue on. We had no reason to do that at all. And we missed a hallway back there. We gotta go back and get. When Siri says that, Avallac'h's a good tutor. She's talking to Geralt. And
It's an old love letter.
it implies he's teaching her magic. She's talking about different history stuff and things about magic, and Geralt's asked her, where'd you learn all this? How do you know all this? And her answer is, Avallac'h's a good tutor. But he didn't teach her anything other than how to have sex with the king. That's all he taught her. Avallac'h's brain was just fully focused on, this is Lara Dorren, and she's going to give me a baby, and she's going to go have sex with the king in order to give me a baby. That's where his brain was. That's all he did. He didn't do anything else. We just picked you, and I just saw you respawn back in. You just respawned back in. We just watched both of those respawn back in as we walked over to them. Weren't there more in here? Wrong one. Try that again. There we go. Much better. But weren't there more in here? Can we pick more? Again, we have no reason to. We're just doing it because we can. You didn't respawn. Why did the other two respawn and not you? If we walk circles around you, will you respawn?
And above all, beware the witches of Crookback Bog.
There it is. Yep. We just had to wait a few more seconds.
Very funny.
I can't. Is Siri too close? Siri was too close. He can't attack Siri. There's the other one. So we got all of them twice. Yeah, he can't attack Siri, so if Siri is right in line
They approach.
when I try to trigger any combat thing, Avallac'h just stands there. He won't do anything. Wait. I'm trying to turn you. Why are you not turning? I know you can get down here easier than there. Alright. And
Honest.
this is a place where we frequently get stuck to the wall. We need to be careful of that. Yeah, we do that in a minute. We found the pit. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't do this because we usually do everything at the Villain Hideout.
As regards the elder,
But
you're aware
this was a playthrough. This save file was from a playthrough that was not a completionist run. See if we can pick things up without you sticking to the wall. I probably should have saved before doing this. Since this is an area where he is prone to glitch out. see. This ain't where we want to go up. Go back. Go back down. It's off to the side, right? Can we see? Oh, we can't see under here. It's this way, right? Most people actually miss this. Very few people ever get this area. If you see a stream where somebody gets to the villain hideout and they get ready to leave and Kira gives them the eye of whatever it is, and the chat starts going nuts, telling them, go back, go back, go back, go back. They're telling them to go back here. They rarely do. This is one of the areas where you will see chat go into psychotic meltdown. Every streamer is going to encounter chat going into a psychotic meltdown over this. And the loot you get here, it's a couple of rune stones and a sword. I mean, it's not anything to go nuts over, but they do. And it's not like you're missing a quest or an Easter egg or something. It's not a good sword, and they're lesser rune stones. It's one of those things, if you're not somebody who wants to get every single thing unlocked, it's probably not worth your while to go get that. Just because it's not anything of any significance at all. You have loot sparkles, but didn't we go by you and you had nothing in you?
See, I believe you.
Also, there's a lot of letters that you can pick up here during the quest. A lot of people don't pick them up. But there's a lot of letters that you can pick up here during the quest that are all written by Avallac'h, and they all give you clues to stuff that's happening with him and Ciri. There's Avallac'h's pedestal. Let's stand on our pedestal. Stand on our pedestal. This is the pedestal you'll see him standing on when we get here. We need to eat and drink and take a nap. Because we are hungry and tired. You know what? We're gonna glitch him out if we don't get a drink first. So we need to get a drink first. I need a drink too, because I have not been getting a drink. Alright. Now you need to meditate. 8 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 41,000 crowns already. Wow. There. Yes, and now he's thirsty again. It would have glitched him out because it would have gone over 100 and forced the meditation to trigger in a loop. Now you need to eat, and it's we didn't do those lights, did we? Or did we do those lights and they went back? We didn't do them. Also, why are all the lights in the game in regards to Avallac'h green? Those lights that he lit, that poem that he lit, the flute is following their king. their queen. The flutists following their queen. How is that worded? I don't remember how it's worded. Avallac'h was a poet in the novels. He wrote poetry, and they did... No. They did put that aspect in... I want you to click on this one, not that one. They did put that aspect in the game by having him write poetry. When you have to solve these weird riddles, those are all written by Avallac'h as well. There's our horse. He's a mage known for riddles. These riddles that you have to solve to get through these things. Every time you find one of these statues and there's some type of a riddle that you have to solve, again, those are written by Avallac'h. And there's several in the game that are not in quests connected to Avallac'h, and they don't do anything. You can find them, you can unlock them, there'll be like a treasure thing there. But it's obvious there was supposed to be a quest, and for whatever reason the quest wasn't finished, so they just made it be a place that has loot, treasure, and that's it. Back at Lara Dorren's tomb. When Geralt gets here and reads the letter, and then it triggers a cutscene conversation with Kira, it is the most utterly stupid dialogue Geralt has in the entire Witcher franchise. There are no male mages other than Avallac'h and Vilgefortz. All the rest of the mages are female. Vilgefortz is human. Avallac'h is elf. Avallac'h is Lara Dorren's sort of father. He cloned himself to make her. He's her kin. When you get here, it's obvious that it's intended for, oh, the player who has read the novels is going to know who this is. But it makes Geralt sound retarded. Where Kira and Geralt are reading this letter and then have this conversation of, so there's this male elf who seems to be Lara's kin and is a mage and is helping Ciri. I can't figure out who it could possibly be. There's only one male elf mage. Avallac'h. He's a kin of Lara Dorren. He has a history of helping Ciri. Why the hell can't Geralt figure out who it is? It's obvious they did it so that the player can try to figure out who it is. But if you haven't read the novels, the game doesn't give you any information so you can figure out who it is. The game is relying on the fact that you read the novels before you played the game, therefore you can figure out who it is. There's not enough clues in the game to tell you, oh, this is who it is. And it makes Geralt sound so damn stupid when he's standing there saying that to Kira. Especially when, while the dialogue is happening, he's like, oh, I know where Lara Dorren was buried. I know who buried her. I talked to him. Last male elf mage. Lara's kin. History of helping Ciri. Buried Lara. You know where. And you just said so. And you can't figure out who this male elf mage is that possibly a kin of Lara is helping Ciri. What the hell? It's the most ridiculous dialogue in any of the games. And in any of the novels. And there's some ridiculous dialogues in the novels. It's just so... They make the assumption you've read the novels. And most people who have played the game have not read the novels. Did they? Netflix does this thing where they advertise based on the best-selling New York Times best-selling novels. The Witcher series has never been a New York Times bestseller, ever. In order to become a New York Times bestseller, there are specific requirements. Within the first 6 months of being published, you must sell 6 million copies. 1 million copies every month for the first 6 months. The Witcher franchise certainly didn't do that. It didn't sell that many copies in its first 40 years. The novels aren't very new. They're quite old. Now we want to go up and over. The roof is sticking up through the sand, so we'll go up there and look at that. Where Lara's tomb was, here it is. Where Lara's tomb was, when you're standing there in front of her gravestone, and you look up and there's like this peak that goes up over it. It's like a tower-looking thing over it. This is the outside of it here. So we are about to be standing right over the top of where we just were. We are now on top of it here. When you are standing there at Laura's tomb, if you look up, you can see like a big cathedral ceiling that kind of looks like a tower over your head. This is the top of it. We are now standing directly over Laura's tomb. Lara's tomb is right here. We're now right on top of it. And we keep going around. We'll come out at the other end and we can go through the rest of the house. That point where we couldn't go any further, we'll get to that point and we can't go any further again. The horse is doing its weird, not quite gallop. See if we can run straight across and not get sidetracked like we always do, because we always run straight across and get sidetracked, and then our horse won't turn around. It's doing that thing again. It won't turn around. I tried to turn the bus around and it's going ahead instead. I think it must be the roach cam that causes it. This is another section. I'm not sure what section is this. Where are we on the map? We're about where the frozen golems were, right? Okay, our horse is going to slide down the hill. There's so much rain happening. There's so many tree stuff where you can't just go straight across, and we always end up not being able to find the other end, and we should be able to find it quite easily. We could, if we had the HUD turned on, we could find it quite easily. But we're relying on memory, and yeah, we just completely turned around and did exactly what I thought we did. Because we stopped and looked at that, and I went the wrong direction after. Our horse is refusing to gallop again. Okay. Yeah, I stopped and looked at that and then I turned around. That's what happened. Okay. Did we cast a spell that caused this rain? We did, didn't we? Because I've still got that spell active. And we should be near where we want to be. We're slightly off, I think, aren't we? Horse is kind of not letting us go where I want to go. The horse keeps turning around again. Alright, wait a minute. There's a path ahead of us still. Let's go on that path. That path is gonna... What are you doing? Why don't you move? Our horse won't move. That path is going to go right where we want to go. This way or that way? Wait a minute. That way. Okay, we're right now. And it's doing it again. Don't know, is it my keyboard not connecting properly when I hit the button? Or is there an issue with the horse? It could be my keyboard, because my keyboard has been having issues. And it could be that just my keyboard has decided to have a new issue. I think I'm going to have to get another keyboard. I have another keyboard, I just like using this one down more. I have 2 other keyboards, but I prefer this one. So I may have to switch over to one of the other keyboards soon, because it appears to be dying. How long have I had this keyboard? I think I've been using this keyboard for a long time. 2016, I think, is when I got it. Yeah, so I've been using this keyboard for 4 years. That's pretty long for a keyboard. We don't want to keep following this path, right? Don't we want to turn off this path? I'm going to turn off this path. Yes, we wanted to turn off the path. I thought we did. Here's where we wanted to be. Can we go on our roof? No? No? The horse won't go on the roof. There is a sleeping bear there. Are you not going to attack us? You're just going to wander around? Okay. That was nice of you. And that's glowing but not litable. And we should be able to take the horse right in. But I think the horse can't go very far, right? That's right, we have more lamps to light. There we go. I think it reaches a point where the horse can't go any further because it's like a ledge. Serious back up there for some reason. I remember, how far can we get the horse? I know I stopped talking, but I'm thinking. I was trying to remember, how far down can we get the horse? Because I know there was a point where we couldn't get the horse any further. But it's been so long since we've come down in here that I can't remember where that was. This drops off, right? Yeah, because there was a bridge here and the bridge is broken. Okay. There are so many caves and tunnels here.
And where is he? My friend.
Looks like we can get the horse up there, but not down there. We can go down and up, but not down and down. I was on which way to go because I wanted to take the horse with us. I'm trying to figure out which way can we go with the horse. I think this one drops off and we can't go this way with the horse, right?
Help us both.
Yeah, this one drops off. The horse isn't going to go through here. So we can go the other way with the horse, but... why you stuck? Why you stuck? There you go.
You?
I see a door we didn't open here. Can we get through here? Yeah, you could fit through there. You're skinny enough. It won't let him. Does this go into a thing or does this come back around? 'Cause I know a lot of these like loop and come back around, but then some of them are dead ends. It lets us kind of start to go in here. There's another one that we didn't do.
They approach.
Can't remember this one. Do we have to swim somewhere? There are lots of swim somewhere places when you're dealing with anything with Avallac'h. Because Avallac'h lived under the water. Fisher King. He could breathe underwater. And they kind of tried to put that aspect into the game a little bit. That's why you see so many underwater things when dealing with Avallac'h. Ah. No. Let it be. It's always the ones that are near a wall, right in the wall. So I think it's the pin placement's too close to the wall. And we're back here where we left our horse, right? Yes. Okay, so this one does swing around. I'll go back and swim in that place first, but I wanted to see where this went before we did. Trying to light everything that we can find to light so that we can tell if we've been in a place or not, because it is so easy to get lost in here. I'm not sure if this cave or the Sunstone Cave is bigger. They're both similar in size. And I know this water goes somewhere, but I can't remember where. And let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot to fix that. Is that gonna turn off if we go into water? You gonna walk with us? Alright. They don't usually do that. You just got Dimeridian, that's not nice. I will have to remember that. I think we got Dimeridian out of one of the other caves too back there, didn't we? One of the other boxes. Avallac'h would not have Dimeridian in his cave. He is allergic to it. So we need to make sure we change the loot. In the game code, this is the Velen Salt Mine. Is how this particular cave is coded as the Velen Salt Mine. So it's easy to find which loot is in this cave. You just look for all the loot that is marked Velen Salt Mine. That's the weapon we just picked a diagram up for. We just, in the water there, picked up the diagram for the silver sickle, and then we just looted the silver sickle. So we got it after we looted the diagram for it. Okay, so this goes to a dead end. It doesn't go anywhere. I like this cave. This is one of those caves that's got stalagmites and roots hanging down from the ceiling. Those are the ones I like. This would be a nice place to live, actually. I don't know if I could tolerate in real life living somewhere where I had to swim under a tunnel, under a submerged tunnel, to get in and out of it like we just did here, though. I don't know that I could swim through something like that in real life. I'd probably have a panic attack. But it is lore friendly for Avallac'h to have a cave that you would have to go through water to get to. That is the way he lived in the novels. Yes, that one we looted right there was this diagram for the silver sickle. And a few feet later, we actually got the weapon. We don't have to make it. Okay, so that way went down. And that way goes the same way and around. So we can just go this way and jump down. They're both going to come out in the same place, just a few feet away from each other. And this one was more direct. The other one goes around several times. That way we can explore this part down here and then climb back up to our horse, which is up there waiting for us. Yeah, you're not going to get hurt if you jump.
Do you
No.
think I'll level this place like I did Cairmorn?
see better? Yep, now I can see better. I like having the green lamp beds and the torch, but right now, in this particular cave, we can see better with the torch. Tend to use the torch more in the caves and the lamp more in the nighttime outdoors. Forgot to change that. And normally you would fight wraiths here. But we've already done all the quests and stuff here. I know there's like chests. Several treasure chests hidden around this area. Can't remember where they all are though. It's just been so long since we've been in here. During the first Avallac'h playthrough, we started and stopped almost every episode here, no matter where we went.
When we were in the Isles together, Avallac'h mentioned a laboratory.
Just because this is Avallac'h's house. And when we were in Skellige, we would stop at Pelly Gap. But I did the first Avallac'h playthrough different than the way we did the second one. The first Avallac'h playthrough, we went through and did all the main story stuff first, except for the final boss battle that would end the game. We did all the main story stuff, and then went and did all the side quest stuff after. And then explored around. Yes, like here's one up here. And can we reach? Yes, we can. We did the main story stuff first, except for the final boss battle. We stopped at the point where you leave Avallac'h standing on the dock with his telescope. And then we went back and did all the side quest stuff. Wait. Okay. I'm climbing over things funny. And then we did just the basic open world exploring stuff. Didn't do a lot of it. And that was when I started going around and just looting everything. And we started running out of loot. We reached a point where we had looted almost everything in the game.
He fell in love with an Enshade of Dilly, yet she spurned him.
And I started thinking, why can't the loot respawn the way the flowers regrow back? I mean, isn't it logical that when you go through somebody's house and loot all their food out of their cupboards, a few days later you go back, they're going to have more food in their cupboards. They're going to replace it. Merchants are going to restock the stuff you looted out of their places. It was illogical to not have loot spawning back. And we reached a point where we just ran out of loot. There was no more loot to loot in the game. We had looted everything. Every last house. Every last everything. All the loot was gone.
Not this time.
So there was nothing left to do but pick flowers. So we went around and picked flowers. And picked flowers. And picked flowers. We ran out of stuff to do. And before that point, I was making mods to change lore friendliness with Avallac'h and Ciri. But then after that point, I started making mods to allow the game to continue longer. The primary mod for that was the loot respawning mod. And then I decided, you know what? Let's restart the game. So we went to the end, we went back, we did the final boss battle. Ended the game. Was surprised to find Vesemir standing there waiting for us in Kirmarin. I didn't know that was a thing that was possible. We discovered that in the first Avallac'h playthrough. And a lot of the things like this, like the treasure chests that are in mines and stuff where nobody's here, nobody's gonna refill them. I didn't make those respawn. That's why we're getting to these and they don't have loot, because with the save file we already looted this stuff. Try to make the respawning loot logical so that it respawns in houses,
Killed my friend.
it respawns in marketplaces and stuff. Places where it's logical that people are going to refill stuff. Places that are respawning here, they're not respawning, it's because we didn't loot them when we did this quest. It's stuff we missed. That's why some of them have loot and some of them don't now.
This place is no longer safe.
You're saying that almost where you need to say it. It's only like a room or two away from where we are right now. I think we can almost go back up and get our horse. I think we got most everything now, right?
Exquisite irony, but what did I do to deserve it? Have I given you cause to doubt my intentions?
So I think we can get our horse through here. Right? Let's go back and get our horse.
What can you possibly know about that?
What wouldn't she know? Oh, we did know that Avallac'h liked to talk a lot. You couldn't shut him up. And that was something Siri got upset about
Precisely one of the reasons why girls are
in the novels.
senseless brutality.
The fact that the Elvish language was a lot of different languages, the same way the human language was. There are thousands of human languages, English, French, and all that stuff. The Elvish language was like that. Siri was quite proud of the fact that I can speak Elvish, and Avallac'h could understand her, but nobody else could because she only spoke one type of Elvish, and the NL elves didn't speak it. Avallac'h knew lots of different languages, that's why he could understand Siri. And Siri would get mad. They had this one scene where they have an argument because he's talking to Siri in one language, and then he's talking to his wives, Isalira and these other girls here, in another language at the same time. He's talking to both of them. They were talking to Avallac'h and Siri was talking to Avallac'h, and he was going back and forth answering both of them at the same time. but he was speaking to Siri in one language and them in another language, and Siri couldn't understand the other types of Elvish. This one we just got, right? Yeah, this one we just got. She couldn't understand the other types of Elvish. And she kept getting mad. She wouldn't believe that their elves had multiple languages. And she kept getting mad and accusing them of speaking a language that they had made up just to be mean to her. And Avallac'h kept trying to explain that there are many, many, many languages. Every different type of elf has a different language.
That is precisely.
Elvish isn't one language. And she absolutely refused. She's serious, so bullheaded in the novels. She absolutely refused to acknowledge that, nope, there can't be multiple languages. There's only one. It's like these people, like my Uncle Brucey. He's one of those people, and it's so damn annoying. He hates Mexicans. A lot. And hear him go on and on and on about them sometimes.
Took you a while. Did you manage?
He's one of those conspiracy theorists with the whole white power American, I'm gonna grab my gun and go sit on the border and shoot off all those illegal border jumpers. Pointing out that he himself doesn't have American citizenship because he's a Canadian and he's in America illegally himself. Also a border jumper. Just Canadian border jumper, not a Mexican border jumper. But he goes into these rants and raves and rants about how much he can't stand Mexicans.
Avallac'h told me of beings who communicate with the NL elves.
And
They can be found in every
if
part
anybody
of the
tries to speak
world.
Spanish,
In
he goes into a fit. That's not a real language. English is the only language. You should hear him. He just goes on and on and on and on and on. That's what Siri reminds me of. That's what Siri was doing. She's like these people that can't stand Mexicans and say, oh no, Spanish isn't a real language. It's not an actual language. If you're in America, you got to speak English, blah, blah, blah. That's what Siri was doing with the elves. She absolutely refused to acknowledge that there were multiple Elvish languages. She was simply, nope. Elvish is Elvish, and all elves are going to speak it. This is the Elvish I know, therefore you're all supposed to speak it. Siri's a major bigot and racist in the novels. Really bad. Did we go up here? We did not go up here because there's no lights turned on up here. Are there lights to turn on here? There's no lights to turn on here. There's a cliff to fall off here. Wait a minute, I almost fell off that. There is a light to turn on there. Can we turn it on, or is it collapsed down too far? Can we turn this on? Does it turn on? It lit up.
Avallac'h, he prepared some special ointments for me.
Many of the scenes with Siri in the novels, I got the impression the author has never actually been around a child in real life. There's a scene where Siri is supposedly 12 years old.
I never doubted you.
And she starts saying, I want Mummy Yennefer.
Might have just about.
And stomping her foot and I want Mummy Yennefer, and stomping her foot. And she's just, I want Mummy Yennefer, I want Mummy Yennefer. I'm going to hold my breath, I want Mummy Yennefer. And she throws herself on the ground, and she starts holding her breath, and then she starts screaming, I want Mummy Yennefer, I want... It's something a 2-year-old would do. A 12-year-old doing that, you're going to be like, yeah, they're retarded, they should probably be in the suites at home. Okay. 12-year-olds don't do that. When a 12-year-old is sitting on the ground, slamming their head on the ground, I'm going to pound my brain out, smash my head on the ground, I'm going to pound my brain out, I'm smash my head on the ground, I'm going to hold my breath, I want Mummy Yennefer, holding my breath, I want Mummy Yennefer. Several levels of retarded, possibly Tourette's as well. That's not something a teenager does. Teenagers don't act like that. And it's jarring to see those scenes with Ciri, because you have a scene where Ciri's acting like an intelligent adult, and then all of a sudden she's acting like a 2-year-old. Pounding her head on the ground, holding her breath, and screaming, I want Mummy Yennefer, I'm going to kill myself by holding my breath. Okay. Those scenes just, it's like, it pulls you out of the immersion, because you have this story happening, and then all of a sudden you have this, what the fuck? What? I don't know. Andrzej Sapkowski needed to do a little research into how children act.
Now for a spot where I can build a fire, brew the oil in peace.
It's difficult to see Ciri as a believable character because of some of those scenes where she does things like that. It's like, yeah, a real teenager isn't gonna do this. This isn't what a teenager does. We're trying to light a light again. If it hadn't come up, I would just think, oh, no, it doesn't have one. But no, I saw it come up, and now I can't get it to come up again. Problem is, he was standing like here where his Lara is. He was standing there, and every time I get him in the right place, he starts sliding, and I can't break him out of the slide. I don't think we're gonna be able to get that one because he's sliding so much. If it wouldn't auto slide, I think I could get it, but it's auto sliding. What'd you trip over? There wasn't anything there. It is getting darker and darker and darker. I can barely see anymore. It is so dark in these caves. Turn the light back on. At least now we see a little bit better. It's so dark in here.
She's not safe. The hunt.
This is going back to where we went in, but a different entrance, right? Oh, there's so many of these in this. That's why it's easy to get lost in here, and that is also why I wanted to turn all the lights on as we go by them, because it is very easy to get lost and turned around in here if you're not turning every light on. I turned the lights on as markers. This is a place where wraiths would attack too. no lights to turn on in here anywhere. So much mushrooms, though. We're getting so many mushrooms in here. I see you are lootable. So the statues, I knew the statues were lootable, though I kept having trouble looting them, but it looks like if you don't get too close to them, you can loot them. You have to stand back from them a little bit to get the loot to trigger.
Apparently, Embereth came here at Eridan's behest to order the crones to keep their eyes open and ears pricked, in case Avallac'h were to seek shelter in his venom hideout.
And then Geralt responds to that with, they took it literally and cut everybody's ears off. But they were cutting people's ears off for hundreds of years. It says that.
You?
Their older sister and their mother were cutting ears off of people as well. It says that as well. And Ciri and Avallac'h only just started being chased a few weeks prior. One of the inconsistencies. Usually the inconsistencies are an inconsistency where the game doesn't match up with the novels, but that's an inconsistency where the game doesn't even agree with itself. Where have we come up to? I don't think this is part of a quest location from Wandering in the Dark, is it? Ain't this like a side thing? That's a little box. I was wondering, what are we looting? I couldn't see anything there. It looked like a rock from the other angle. Yeah, it just looked like a rock from the other angle. I didn't realize it was a box.
Looking for lost little girls.
You know, most of these mushrooms, if we weren't carrying the torch, I wouldn't see them. I can barely see, even with the torch, I can barely see them. It's so incredibly dark in this cave. Okay, we're here. This is part of the quest thing then. And this is not that far from where the portal is. This one's not the portal one. This is the one where you have to jump down in and swim. Why are most of the mushrooms already picked? Yeah, here's another of Avallac'h's pedestals. This one, he stands up here as well.
I'm gone.
We can get an Avallac'h view of the room. Oh, I have seen so many people. When you do this quest, they're not here now because we've already done the quest with this save. But when you do the quest, there's chalk drawings. He uses limestone to draw with, it says in the novels. Basically chalk. One of them's right here, Kraken, and there's another one over here as a dog. These little drawings, and he tells you the sign of Kelpie, and Geralt's like, ah, okay. So we look for the horse. And I've seen so many people, because Avallac'h is standing right there and says that. It says look for a drawing of a horse. And they turn around, right beside him is a drawing of a kraken. They immediately touch it. Oh, here's a drawing, let me touch it, because it has interact, so you can touch it. Which triggers one of multiple fights and stuff that happens here, but each one of them, if you touch the wrong one, it's going to trigger some type of a fight or explodes or some type of bad thing is going to happen. I've seen so many people. They're like, he told us to interact with the picture. No, he told you to interact with the horse. But they go, he told us to interact with the picture. And they go back and they touch it again. And then they die. And they reload the save file. He told us to interact with the picture. They touch it again. They die. They reload the save file. He told us to touch the picture. They touch it again. They die. They reload. They will go 10, 12, 15, 20 times touching the same picture right here before finally they go, that's not a horse. Is there another picture? And then they will do, and it is so ridiculous, isn't it? Lack of attention? He said horse. Then they'll come over here and poke this picture because there's another one over here. And they do it again. Alright, touch the picture, and then they die. And then they touch the back, and they touch the picture, and they die. 10 or 12 times later, after 10 or 12 times over there, now they're doing it over here. Then they're like, oh, that's a dog, that's not a horse. Almost everyone does that with this quest. And it is so frustrating to watch people do that. Hey, one guy I was watching, he knew I was in his chat. He knew I was lurking. I hadn't posted in his chat, but he knew I was there. And he did that and did that and did that and did that and did that. And if I said, he said, I know Wheelcat's here. Tell me what to do. What am I doing wrong? And I told him, look in the water. And he's like, water? And he finally realized, water? Hey, there's a horse down there. Yeah, you jump in and the horse is down there. It's fascinating watching people play this game sometimes.
Then there'll be nothing to stop him from returning. He hasn't ever had a problem changing his mind.
We have run out of things to light the way, and I think, haven't we run out? Yeah, this is, yeah. We've also run out of, we can't go any farther because there's a portal here. That place where we came to before, and I said, now we have to go around the other door and find our way back. Now we're on the other side of it. And for some reason, on that side, we could look through and see into here, but on this side, you can't look through and see. But there's a portal here that zips you over to the other side. So we can't go any further.
Rare snow beast, Avallac'h, Vendigo, or an Avallac'h.
He asked me later after he finally got done with this quest. He said, why? He said, you knew I was, he said, you were watching me do this. He said, why didn't you tell me? And I said, I never post spoilers. I believe in letting people just play the game. Even though it's frustrating watching them do the same thing over and over again when it's something like that. It annoys me more when I see people in chat posting and telling them, no, don't do that. Do this, do that. And I was like,
I guess I'm strong.
just let people play the game. If they need help, they'll ask. I mean, if somebody wants help, eventually they will ask. They'll tell chat. They'll say, chat, help me out. If they don't want help, they're going to keep trying to do it themselves. Just let them do it. And I don't understand. I mean, I understand how frustrating it is to watch it, but I don't understand people having the need to be, you know what, I'm going to tell you the answer. Why? Let them figure it out on their own. If they don't want to figure it out on their own, they'll ask. It's the same thing with the quests. You get to these quests and it'll be pick A, B, or C, and they'll be trying to decide now, what would I do? If they're trying to play the game the way they think Geralt would pick choices, they'll try to think, what would Geralt do? Or if they're trying to play it like how they would act in real life, they'll be like, well, what would I pick? And then they have chat going, no, you're going to pick the wrong one. You want this one, not that one. And again, well, leave them alone. Let them do what they want to do. I get so frustrated with chat in every single stream I'm in. Every channel I watch. That's why you never see me post in chat. You are almost never going to see me post in chat because, as a general rule, I hate most of Twitch chat. I hate most of Twitch chat. It didn't used to be like that. That's something that's more recent. And I've seen people who, they have the same, fuck Twitch chat attitude that I have, but they'll post in chat and give other people hell, and I say, that's just bad. They'll give people hell for one thing or another, and then they'll talk about, well, chat's so damn toxic. You're also posting toxic in chat, Okay. Yeah, you don't see that? And then you'll see other people, the ones who were usually starting the problem, will post back to them. And they'll say stuff like, well, this is what the internet is like. No. The internet is what you want to make it. If you are a jackass bastard from hell, you will act like a jackass bastard from hell, whether you're on the internet or not. So, no. Not internet culture, not Twitch culture. It's you and your bad personality. You can do the blame game of, oh, well, it's not me with a bad personality, just how everybody acts on the internet, so I have to act like that. No, you can choose to not be a jackass. You can. Being a jackass is a choice. You can choose to not be. And so many people act like, well, this is where I'm supposed to act. This is Twitch. Twitch is toxic. I'm supposed to act toxic. You're an idiot. You have the freedom to choose how you act. You don't have to be a jackass because everyone around you is. You really don't. We've lost our horse. I have no clue where we left our horse. I have no idea where we are in comparison to where we left our horse. We ran out of things to light our way with, and now we're lost. Which, that happens every time we're in here. I wonder, how does Avallac'h find his way in and out of his house? He's the knowing one. He shouldn't get lost, should he? We're probably going to be next couple of hours wandering around here trying to figure out, where did we leave our horse?
Calm the horses. Agar and I will open the door.
We'd calm the horse if we could find it. We have no clue where we left it. There's another of your pedestals. What did you say here? Which pedestal is this? You fell off your pedestal. Get back up on your pedestal. Well, that was... How did you jump backwards? Which pedestal is this? What do you say when you're here? If I could remember what he says here.
For example, one such passage will open soon near where we are, fortuitously. Between this noble edifice and the...
This is the very first pedestal, ain't it? Where Kira does the whole... Yeah! This is how mages leave telegrams. Which would mean we should be quite close to the entrance, right? This is the first one he does it at. The second one he does it at is the one we were just at.
I give you my heart. What kind of spell is that?
So our horse should be not far from here. Are we almost back to our horse? Unless we got far enough away that our horse despawned and went who the hell knows where. Yes, we're back here. Okay, there's our horse. Hey, we found our horse. The game has left a thing here. You know, that sentence leaves all sorts of questions. Why did Siri say that? We came out of here and almost fell off of there. That means we were going this way on you. More lights we can light. That's better. We can find our way better if we have lights. Also, you need to leave your torchlight out. It's just too dark to see in here without it. This is going to be a very dark video. You can tell. The whole video's been in this cave, so lots of dark. Can't see much. I saw an ignite button come up here. And I can't see it a second time. It came up for a second. Alright, let's go back and get our horse. That one is refusing to come back up. Except when we get on our horse, he puts the torch away. 2 doors? No, that's not a door. Okay. This is a different tomb that is not Lara's tomb. Interesting. Also lootable, but why can't we loot? Loot. Okay. Go away from me.
GRL said the same thing.
Try walking up to it again. It is so difficult to loot these statues. It started to come up. Okay, ignite was not what we wanted. Loot was what we wanted. I think it is just a sword here, so it's not anything we need, but it's annoying me that it won't let us loot it. I saw the loot button come up. Wait, I saw it again.
I'm gone.
It looks like we're not going to be able to get that one. Alright, we'll keep going. We can't get that one for some reason. That light color looks like the light of the lights we turn on. These. And not the vanilla lights. Does that mean we're coming back out to a place where we've already been?
Discouraged after a mere 8 attempts.
No.
Sierra.
Do it again. There we go. And we'll let us loot those. Okay. Was there anything here we missed with our horse? No. Okay. The horse is sticking his head through the wall. We are back near the beginning now, right? Is that? Are we?
Truly.
Because this is the color light
You'll be unfamiliar with the story of Galban and Dillion.
when we turn the light on ourselves. Yeah. That's the okay, so we've already turned this light on before. Yes, I remember coming up here for this box. We are in an area where we have been before. So we're back near the beginning. Yes, we're back near the beginning. We found our way back out. And since we didn't have any of these mushrooms at the start, didn't I turn that on? Did you turn yourself back out?
Nothing you need worry about.
Was this one of the ones we couldn't get to come on? Because it's, even though I'm seeing it coming up here, it's not letting me click on it. It keeps coming up, but you can't click on it. There we go, we got it. I can't remember if we lit it the first time or not. I know we picked that, but floating off our horse. Alright. I knew we picked this before. Let's go down and pick it again. It's had time to respawn on me. You know, all the screenshots we've been making of Avallac'h, we don't have any screenshots of the Velen hideout other than that one room. So we'll have a lot of screenshots of the Velen hideout from this, even though it's going to be very dark because it's very dark in here. We made our way head back out. What time is it? 2 hours and 15 minutes. And it goes to deer. I remember that when we used to come in here before, the animals were always coming in and out of here. I don't think I've ever seen a bear in here before. The deer were frequently coming in and out. Have we ever seen a bear in here before? You're hunting a deer. We saw the griffin come in here once, which was funny. There's a griffin nest right over the top of this somewhere. And we were up there, the griffin had followed us. And we came in here to get away from the griffin. And it landed on top and it glitched and it fell down through the roof and ended up in here. The bear fell asleep. There's a bear asleep in our cave. There's a bear sleeping in our cave. Can we touch the bear? No? Then let's interact with the bear. Okay. And there are now 2 deer down here. Where'd the deer go? I saw it chase 2 deer in. It chased a stag and a doe both in here. There they are. They're down there.
No, I want to listen.
Yep, they're both down there. It's a stag and a doe. Deer and sometimes rabbits, we'd see them come down the steps here all the time. That happens all the time. It's the first time I've ever seen a bear come in. I've never seen a bear come in here before. That bear is always there. The bear's gone.
We've no time to lose.
Where'd he go?
I'll tend to Imlerith, you take the crows. Avallac'h said they dwell below the oak.
Did he go back up? Let's go up and look for him. The bear's been killing stuff, I think. Yeah, the bear lit. Oh, the blue stars are out. Yeah, the bear's been killing stuff. Oh, we can see the lights that we turned on inside. We can see them from the outside now. The bear should be back up on the top now, right? Because it always just stays up there. Let the bear go.
We were discussing questions of a magic nature. Nothing of great
There he
interest.
is. Yeah, I think it looks like he fell asleep in the spot where he sleeps up here, and it just spawned him back to the top. It looks like he probably glitched and fell through the roof, and that's why he was in the cave to begin with. Because he's in the same spot where he fell asleep, he's just on the top now where he's supposed to be. That bear is always there. That's every time you come here, that bear's going to be there.
I thought it might aid your passage. After all, that is what lighthouses do. Show the way.
What is this triangular glitch happening there? That's weird. It's like there's supposed to be something sitting there and it's not loaded right, maybe?
Very good. On time.
So I think since we're close to 3 hours-ish, we're at 2:20. So not exactly close to 3 hours, but getting close to 3 hours. I think we should hit our way back to the back door and stop and save there. Look, nice purplish pink sunset. These loot, letting us loot. I think these drowners here might be the ones that I changed. I'm not sure. I couldn't figure out where they were by the files. But it said drowners early. And I was thinking drowners early. Most stuff that says early usually means this area. But no, it looks like they're going to attack us. Or are they running away from us? They're running away from us. They're attacking us strangely. So maybe I did change them, but it... didn't change them correctly?
Discussing questions of a magic nature. Nothing of great interest.
These look like clam flats, like an area where you would be digging for clams. Isn't there supposed to be grass growing here? Isn't there like swamp grass growing here? Have we got something glitching out? Oh, could it be the desert mod? Yeah, it could be the desert mod. You were carrying an elf head. Some stuff appears to have loot from the loot respawning mod, and other stuff appears to have vanilla loot. So I'm thinking we may have an issue with some mods are overwriting. I see shooting stars. I see 2 shooting stars. Where some mods have a higher priority and are overwriting the loot mod. I'll have to check that. Where did we leave our horse? We got one more drowner back we had to get on the way back. There's our horse. Oh, we got quite a ways from here, didn't we?
Avallac'h claims vengeance is only ever satisfied
two together. He didn't say that. He said completely the opposite of that. Well, Siri, stop acting like the spawn of Kurganet. Avallac'h got mad at somebody. He called him the spawn of Kurganet. You could tell what Avallac'h's emotions were regarding Siri based on what he called her. And back and forth between calling her daughter of Lara to spawn of Kurganet. Didn't call her Zero. King Oberon called her Zero. And when he introduced her to King Oberon, Avallac'h called her Zero because Oberon wouldn't have known who she was otherwise. And we need to go all the way around, don't we? The horse movement is being very jerky right now. So we've definitely got an issue with the horse movements, but I'm not sure what's causing it. And it's something that only started is it like 2 or 3 streams ago? 2 or 3 episodes ago? I'm trying to remember, when was the last time they were working? They were working when we were in White Orchard, the episode we did where we just ran the horse around White Orchard a lot. Because I was getting screenshots of the horse galloping, and the horse was working okay then. Don't remember changing anything that would have caused changes with the horse. So I wonder if I reordered the mods and now it's not working because I changed the mod order, maybe? That's a possibility. I can't think of what else it could be. This area looks so different with the desert mod. Because we were coming to this area so much in the first Avallac'h playthrough. We got used to where everything was. And then about halfway through the second Avallac'h playthrough, we started using the desert mod. But we weren't coming here in the second Avallac'h playthrough. So it's been so long since we've just come here and explored and wandered around. And I remember it.
Geralt, can you hear me? How close is it? Where are you?
Almost there.
Splendid. I shall contact
So again, trigger that every time we go through here. I remember it as it looked when you had the when we had the grass growing here before the desert mod was on, and it looks so dramatically different without the grass with the desert mod. So I'm going to stop here because we're at 2.5 hours, so not quite to 3 hours, but also I'm tired. We had a long day. So, and I already did make an episode earlier today. This is the second episode. So, I'm gonna stop here. And I'm gonna go take a nap. I will probably come back after I wake up. Which, what time is it? It is 11:48 p.m. It's almost midnight. It's time for you to have gone to bed. But it is almost midnight. And I didn't upload that other video yet, so I'll end up having to upload both of these at the same time, I guess. And Rascal has a vet appointment tomorrow. Marcy's was today, Rascal's is tomorrow. So.
It's an old love letter. Ancient.
We'll stop here. I'm gonna go probably to bed, not take a nap, because it's a lot later than I thought it was. For some reason, I was thinking it was a lot earlier than it was. I don't know why. I guess because I lost track of time. Not unusual for me. I never use a clock or a watch or anything. So we made 2 save files, and I need to get in the habit of manually saving throughout while we're playing, not just at the end. Because, you know, look at all that. It's just... we have no manual save files. All the way back to where we started. Wow. Okay. Gotta remember. I need to remember to, like, maybe make one every hour. Maybe I should turn on a timer. An hour timer. Every hour to make a save file and get into the habit of doing it. We kind of rely too heavily on the autosave, and we shouldn't. Not with how buggy this game is. I was wondering when I was going to come back on. Probably not for a few hours, I don't think. I think I'm going to go to bed. So. I think it's going to depend when I wake up. When I make the next episode, because if I go to bed now, there's a possibility of me waking up too close to the time for Rascal to go to his appointment. So I may not be able to make an episode before I go to the vet. So I may not make the next episode until after I come back from the vet, right? again 2 days in a row. The game didn't crash today. We have so few days when the game doesn't crash. And we haven't gotten back to Kermoran yet. We are ready to go back to Kermoran, so we can go to Kermoran now, finally. I think we've got all the books. If anybody else has a book, it would likely be Gremist. And I don't think he is unlocked yet on this save file. He might be, but he probably isn't. Don't think. I can't think of anybody else who might have books. It seems like we're still missing 2 books. I'll have to go look at the mod. Do I have the mod page open? Wait a minute. I might have the mod page open. We can just look right now. Let me see. Where is it? I do. It's closed itself, but it is description. Here it is. I'm pretty sure it says right in the description here. If it's not in the description, it's obtain. Map of merchants or use. Yeah, we could just spawn them in, but it's like, oh yeah, I'd rather go look for them. One, two, three, four. Okay, it's saying you can get everything from those 4. Who is this guy? I can't remember the characters by their names. Oh, that guy. Yeah, I knew about that guy. I just can't remember his name. You? Who are you? Yeah, and I forget the characters' names. Ah, you're you. You know, you have a name. Oh, I was always saying he has a name, and I always forget what his name is. He tells us his name and everything. Oh yeah, and it says this map was made by, and it says, I won't tell what items can be bought at each merchant. There should be some discoveries years after all. Yeah. Like, not all of the mages were here because we did find 2 other mages that had them. Okay. You know what? There's a list of them. Do we have them all? Magical Doll, Tome of Caring. We have those. Clear Horizon. Do we have Clear Horizon? Yes, we do. Meteora. Cold Stars. That's the one we have, but it's not working. The ones that say any sign, those 3 weren't working properly. I'm going to have to read the instructions because we're probably doing something wrong. Fire entity we have. Ice entity we have. Rock launcher, do we have that? I think we do, and we didn't try it out. Blood Moon. Blood Moon's the one they changed. Creates a special trap that pulls targets to that position. If you're in combat, transfers you behind current position. Otherwise, turns you into flying smoke and allows us to fly, which wasn't in the other game. Okay. Permafrost. Do we have that one? Yes, shoots frost spear. Eye of the storm. Transference. Assassin's Plus. Energy. Is that the purple necklace? I think that's the purple necklace. Pyromancy. Sword ring, Grave Warden, Forest Witch. Black Fire, Winter Souls. Winter Souls is the one we're missing. Okay. Winter Souls is the one we're missing. Old Gods, Manual Spell Aiming. I knew there was one that I couldn't get right. Here's the special instructions for aiming spells. Okay, I knew it had special instructions, obviously, because it wasn't working when we did it. If you ever say spell equipped, chosen quick slot, see list below. Chosen in. You have to have the spell equipped and chosen in your quick slot. We did that, right? Press and hold the use item key, which is the middle mouse button by default, to start aiming. To cast a spell, spacebar. Okay. It didn't used to be spacebar in the other mod. That's what we were doing wrong. In order to cast an aiming spell, okay. That's the ones we were testing out the other day, and they weren't working. And it looked like they were trying to work, and then they didn't cast. I figured we must have been doing something wrong. There was a step we weren't doing, because in the old mod, it was click the middle mouse button, click the middle mouse, and then click the side. Is that right? Yeah, it was mouse then right. They were both mouse. It was middle then right mouse, and now it's middle then spacebar. Okay. We can kind of remember that, I think. Okay. So we do that next time. We'll try that out next time. So we're missing one book still. We are missing one book, unless I put it in, maybe I put it in the stash without realizing it. Or we found it and I sold it without realizing it. You know how fast I sell things when we sell stuff. So we'll have to check. But otherwise we have everything else. So. I knew we were missing that one because that's the spell we were using all the time with the old mod. And we didn't have it yet. So that's stuff to do in the next episode. Also, my throat is getting weird. I've been talking too much. So, I will see you guys next time. We've been going 2 hours, 45 minutes, 18 seconds. That was a 458.